been all over the state of Iowa. He's earned the endorsement of Governor Kim Reynolds. Today, more about faith and family with Governor Ron DeSantis and Casey, like you've never seen them. And I do want to ask, we'll talk a little bit more about you and Casey, and you guys are obviously beautiful family. You're the ultimate family man. You know, some people have actually tried to use that as criticism, that she's your closest confidant. Supporters will say, yeah, your partner should be, but isn't that, do you find that strange?
My wife's my best friend. Our kids are kind of our focus in terms of what we do with life. We're very busy. I mean, just being governor is very busy. Obviously, being a candidate is busy. So the question is when you're not doing those two things, what do you want to do with your time? We want to spend it with our family.
Casey, Ron told me earlier on the campaign bus that you're his best friend, and I know some folks have used your relationship and say you're too insulated and tried to use it as a negative. What do you say to those folks?
So the people who are criticizing us are the people who are saying that we shouldn't be spending time with our family and our 7, 5, and 3-year-olds. Like, there is folks who want to go up to Washington because they like the cocktail class circuit and they like to get, friendly with the lobbying corps, and they criticized him for coming home in Washington when he was serving to come call his family or go back to his office so he could talk to us and talk to his family. And so, I just reject that, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. We as a family, and we talked about this earlier, your kids grow up so fast. We have 7, 5, and 3.
Any plans for more?
Well, buckle your seatbelt. I think I'm good with 7, 5, and 3 right now. I'm trying to, get from point A to point
so
B.
You're not trying. You're trying to get to point A.
Let me
just
make sure I clarify that. Yes, trying to get a 7, 5, and a 3-year-old out the door every day with hats and gloves and what have you is a challenge.
But, you make it look effortless.
Well, thank you for that, because it's like a duck, I guess. Under the water, you're paddling like heck, but above, everything is just fine.
So at the moment, you're good, but not off the table to have another little one in the governor's
It's all in God's hands. You
That's
never
so
know what
true.
comes down the pike on that. But she's done a great job. I mean, if you think, we've brought the kids along a lot just because we just want to spend time with them. But they've been very well behaved. They come out. Sometimes we'll put them on the spot. We'll be on the stage. We'll get introduced as a family, and we'll ask, our 3-year-old, do you want to say anything? And she'll say, God bless Iowa, or something like that. Our 5-year-old son, he knows football very well. I had him up on the stage in Sioux City the morning of the Michigan-Iowa Big Ten championship game. And I put him on the spot. I didn't choreograph this. I said, Mason, who's going to win Michigan versus Iowa? And as I'm putting the mic in front of his face, I'm thinking to myself, this is a bunch of Iowa fans. If he says Michigan, he's going to get booed as a 5-year-old. And he came through and he said Iowa, and everyone started cheering. So so we've had a lot of fun with it.
I think we're going to meet them in a little bit, maybe get to see some of that in action. And obviously you want to make this season special for them as well. Do you make New Year's resolutions? Have you made any, and what are they?
Oh, I haven't even thought that far ahead yet to think about. I'm just still trying to get back to the Christmas present thing, right? To make sure we have everything under the tree.
Is he going to cook? Is he a cook?
He is a good cook. He has cooked. I don't think you're going to cook. I love cooking. I am not good at cooking, but I enjoy the process of doing it, and I like to have my little helpers in the kitchen with me. So we're going to attempt to cook.
Your culinary changes when you have the kids. Before we had kids, I would do stuff on the grill all the time. Now that we have the kids, I mean, we're doing chicken nuggets they like. We're doing macaroni and cheese. We become connoisseurs on that. One thing I've done well for the kids, they love the Waffle House waffles. And so, you can get the mix, do it up, and then you have the little griddle, do it. They go crazy for that. So that's one of Daddy's things he does for them.
Oh, that's really sweet. That's sweet. And it is those moments, right, that it's kind of all about that. You mentioned, a moment ago, Governor, that, you give it to God and in God's hands. And that's sort of, I think, where a lot of folks, especially here in Iowa, that faith is so important to them. I wonder if you're looking at where things are now, and obviously by this time next year, the election will have been decided. You'll know your fate. Have you thought about, at this point, is it like, Jesus, take the wheel, we just give it to God? I mean, how much of this is it just your faith pushing you through the final months here?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think that's just who I am. We've always just done the most to get the most out of my God-given ability, let the chips fall where they may. I do think he has a plan, and particularly as we're in this Christmas season, so much of it's commercialized now, but he ultimately is the reason for the season, and that's something that's very important to our family, and it's important, with our kids, to bring them up in that tradition.
I have 2 last questions I want to make sure I get with Casey, because I could talk to you for a long time. I mean, as someone who's been in the media and used to be the one asking the questions,
I'm a
producing the
recovering
segment.
anchor.
Yes, I know. Anchor rehab and reporter rehab, I've gone through that too. So now you're on the other side, a lot of outlets asking your husband, tough questions all over the board. What one thing is it that you believe the media has gotten wrong about your husband?
Well, I don't want to give in to any of their narratives, but what I want them to know about Ron DeSantis is he is the real deal. When he says he's going to do something, he gets it done. He delivers on 100% of his promises. And I think we as Republicans, we are tired of losing. He showed in the state of Florida that you can win and you can win big. And when he won by that largest landslide in the history of the state of Florida, it wasn't just Republicans. It was independents and indeed Democrats were coming on board to support him because of his leadership. And so I want people to know that. I want people to know that he's a good dad. I want people to know that he served in the United States military. He's the only one running who served in the military, the only one who deployed to Iraq in 2007 and served in a war zone. And so I think these are really important things because I think people see they want a restoration of sanity. They want a restoration of family values. They want to win again, and they want to win on the issues that matter to them. And he has shown that he has already won on those issues in the state of Florida, and he can do so for the nation.
Why do you think that message hasn't gotten through so far, Casey?
Well, you can ask the media that one. No, I think it has. I think when you're out talking to folks, and I have across the state of Iowa, I think that they see that.
Oh, he's great. Great in person. I told him he looked better in person.
I thought it was great. It was nice to meet him. So he's very friendly.
I'd wanted to meet him. I wanted to see him in person. I got to meet his wife in person, and they're just great people.
Just want to ask you about your personal story as a cancer survivor. Some women will get that diagnosis and, look to, your story as a testimony. And, they have kids, they have to still take care of their children, but more importantly, they want to live for them. They want to see their graduation, their weddings. And what do you tell folks who, maybe this holiday season, it's not so the most wonderful time of the year, it's melancholy, whether it be a diagnosis or something dark, as someone who's come through it on the other side?
Yeah, well, I would say have faith. Having faith is one of the most important things that you can do. It is not in your hands. It is in a higher power's hands. Embrace your family. See, I was one of the folks that prior to having the diagnosis, I thought, it's not a matter of, if I get older, it's a matter of when I get older, like as if I was entitled to have the next day come. And you realize when you get a diagnosis like that life is very precious. You have a small window to be able to do good. You have a small window to be able to spend time with your family. So really enjoy those moments because you don't know when it can slip away and it could be gone in the blink of an eye. And so when I was diagnosed with cancer, we had a 4, 3, and a 1-year-old at home. And I didn't know whether I was going to be able to see them graduate from kindergarten, let alone walking them down the aisle and being there with them when they have children. And so it was a very difficult time. I will say one of the things that got me through it, in addition to faith, of course, was my family, having Ron there every step of the way when I literally could not pick myself up off of the floor and I couldn't run over to a 4, 3, and a 1-year-old to help them. He was there to be able to help me through all of that, which was incredibly difficult. I also owe a big thank you to people across this country who wrote in letters and prayers, and they were calling the office and just saying, we're there. And I also got to meet a lot of people who were stage 4, stage 3, stage 2, stage 1 cancer survivors of 20, 30, 40 years. Yeah. That gives you a lot of hope too. And so I would just tell folks, if you have been diagnosed with something that's very difficult, have faith, know that you can get through this and that it can get better. And I will say this, having gone through that diagnosis, I never would have thought at the time that I would come out stronger on the other side. And I think that's the power of the good Lord, who puts you through things that you might not understand, that are very difficult. I wouldn't wish a cancer diagnosis on my worst enemy, but I have become stronger, and I have such a value for every moment that I have with my family.
Governor, any traditions from your family growing up that you instill now with your families and you do with your little ones?
Well, it's interesting. So one of the things about, so we live in the governor's residence. And so when you move in there, one of the things that's a perk on that is literally right after Thanksgiving, they create the best decorations around there. Like that used to be a big pain for me,
The
to do
boxes,
that when we used
all
to
the
have
stuff.
in our house. And so with the kids, I mean, they have so many different things. So they decorate the entire governor's residences, and there's multiple trees in different
So
rooms.
you're not like Clark Griswold anymore out there with the lights.
No, exactly. But what happens is we've got to say, okay, they put a tree in the main kind of living area. They put a tree in this room. They put a tree here. The kids choose, okay, what's going to be our tree? Where are we going to send Santa there? And so that's kind of like a perk for just being there. But we're in discussions now about where we're going to put the milk and cookies for which direction Santa needs to go. And our kids are very concerned about the feasibility of our chimney. They want to make sure Santa can do it. They're always worried about contingencies. If he can't get it, or how is he going to get in? Are we going to leave a window open? No, kids. He's going to be able to get it. It's going to be okay.
Does the elf on the shelf move around on the campaign trail?
It works, though. I'll tell you, when you tell them
I was-
Santa's watching, and they snap into good behavior very quickly.
This is what we use this time of the year. Enjoy this season. I know it's going to be a busy one for both of you and the kids.
It's getting a little bit busier because we have the 7-5
Oh,
and the
there
Are the
Yeah.
VIPs
marching
here?
in.
Come here, guys.
Come on in.
Come over here.
We're talking Christmas.
Come on, get over here. Watch your feet. Watch your
Yes,
feet.
watch. We have lights.
Okay. Mason, come here.
Hello.
Come over here,
Hi,
buddy.
Mason. Hi, Mason.
All right.
Hi, Mamie.
Whoops.
Whoa,
That's
okay.
All right. All right. All right. Now,
we've been waiting for you, the
So-
most special guest
so
here.
first, he's very good. So Mason, can you tell them what was the score of this year's Florida State versus LSU game?
25-24.
Okay, now I'm going to ask Siri. Hey, Siri, what was the score of the Florida State LSU football game?
Florida State trounced LSU by a score of 45-24 on September 3rd.
Yeah.
How did you know
He knows
that?
it. Good job. Mamie, what do you
That's
want to say? Do you want to say
amazing.
anything?
Mamie, do you want to?
Merry Christmas to people?
You want to say what you want for Christmas?
No.
I know what you want.
What do you want?
I want football stuff.
Football stuff.
Madison, what do you want?
Science kit.
Science
She
kit.
wants a
Yeah.
science kit.
Really?
She wants to do science experiments. Mamie, tell them what you want. You want some stuff,
She
right?
wants a big princess and a little princess.
Is that what you
And
want?
she wants a doggy.
She wants a dog.
Oh,
Whole other question
I'm all
for
about a
another
dog.
time.
What type of breed and that?
Well, so this is a big source of negotiation because you've got to take care of that. The Biden's dog biting people. That's because he's not getting exercise. Like you've got to be
Commander.
able to do that. Yes. So Mamie
But
is.
that's a Democrat dog.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah, thing is, we've got a big yard now at the governor's residence. I mean, we absolutely could get a lab and let them run around, and they'd have a lot of fun.
I think you're convincing Dad to
Boy
get it.
versus girls football.
Oh, he loves this. This is something that we do in the front yard of the
So we
governor's
do it on
residence.
Thanksgiving. We'll do it on Christmas. Boys versus girls football. So in the front,
Very
yeah.
competitive.
So we're going to do
So
that.
the girls, this one's so cute because she gets the football and she runs the wrong way, but it's fine. It's okay. We corral her. We get her back.
I could tackle her.
Well, we don't want to
But
tackle
I gotta make them proud because what happens is if the girls score, he gets upset. If the boys score, they get upset, and it's like that's life, guys.
Yeah.
There's ups and downs. Sometimes other team will score. You just got to come back and put your best foot forward.
It's a war on Christmas, America's decaying cities, more carjackings and caroling, how the DeSantis plan on restoring American values, plus where does faith and family play here on the road to 2024. It's all ahead.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel David Ike with HHBN. Command Sergeant Major Raul Aguilar. We're here at Fospolslavik in Poland where, as you can see, looks like we're about to have a white Christmas. We want to wish the families back home a safe, warm, and most of all, happy holiday season. We love you, we miss you, we look forward to our safe return home when the mission is complete. But for now, from all of us to all of you, happy holidays!
Let's talk about this country. Some say it's barely recognizable what we're seeing happening. There's more carjackings and caroling. There's not necessarily shopping. There's flash mobs and looting. There really has been an erosion of traditional American values, and some of it's on display while we're supposed to be celebrating the birth of Jesus this season. How do you feel that you as president will restore America and the values that we treasure so much when you look around and see how far gone we are?
Well, I understand why we've gone far. I mean, this is the leftist agenda. This is woke ideology, and their goal is to take down the traditional pillars of American society. That's why they go after parents and the family. That's why they go after things that are really central to who we are as Americans. We've beat these people in Florida across the board. Woke companies, we beat teachers unions by doing school choice. We beat Soros by removing 2 of these prosecutors. When you talk about carjackings, why is that happening? Because people are getting elected district attorney in some of these blue cities saying they're not going to enforce certain laws because they think somehow it's so if you get carjacked in like San Francisco or Los Angeles, forget about that guy getting prosecuted.
As we're kind of coming into sort of reflective time and people are gathering, there also seems to be a war on Christmas where the messaging is, oh, there's a cold, let's not gather. Oh, politics are too divisive, let's skip the dinner table. I mean, we have people like Martha Stewart who taught us all entertaining and tried to make an empire out of it, saying she's canceling her Thanksgiving. It does seem like the messaging from big media, big corporations, as you know, is trying to sell to the masses that we shouldn't be gathering as families. Do you feel that this machine, as you mentioned, has been churning for so long that not one person or one president can actually combat it?
No, well, I think a president can lead the effort, but it's from the American people, because most Americans, they may be a silent majority. The media may not be giving them a megaphone, but they see it and they understand how important these traditions are. So yes, and this goes back to COVID. I mean, you go back to 2020, you had all these elites saying, don't gather with your family. We said the opposite. We're like, you need to be with family. There's more to life than just a respiratory virus. So they've gone down, I think, a really bad road. Christmas is a great season to be with your loved ones.
Anything I didn't ask you that you would like to share with the American people, the viewers at Newsmax?
Well, look, I think that, as we end this year, there's so many problems that we see. We've discussed some of them with this country. There's a lot of pessimism out there. But having gone through being in Iowa, being in some of these states, talking to people, there is a basic decency in this country. There's patriotism. People are God-fearing. That's the backbone of America. The ingredients for a great comeback are there. And so I'm optimistic about the future. I know there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but we absolutely can reverse this decline and usher in a revival of the American spirit.
Well, we definitely got a revealing look at behind the scenes with the DeSantis. Not sure if Santa will give them the dog at the governor's mansion or if they're going to have more kids, but we're watching. And so are the Iowa voters and everyone across the nation. A lot to discuss over the holiday dinner. From all of us here at Newsmax, I'm Bianca Garza. Have a wonderful holiday season.
My name is Staff Sergeant Daniel Washington. I'm stationed at Misawa Air Base, working for the 14th Fighter Generation Squadron. I'd like to wish my friends and family back home in San Francisco, California, a happy holidays.
I'm Sergeant John Maglamont, originally from Stockton, California, assigned to 135AR. We're deployed here in Nowa Dęba, Poland. I want to wish my friends and family back home a happy holidays. Go Niners.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Miramontes. I'm from Riverside, California. Shout out to my mom, my sister, and my brother, and all my friends in California.